Good evening, baseball fans. How you doing? We got some big news. Juan Soto. What the heck is going on? Let's get to it. And what is going on, baseball fans? Hello. I was running the power rankings intro, so I had to cut it off a little soon. Hopefully no one saw that. But what's going on, everyone? How are we doing? A lot of familiar faces in the chat. We got Boba Fett here. Where is Obi-Wan Kenobi? We need him in the chat, too. Kevin, what's going on? John Sullivan, Swishy Blues, Ethan's Tech World, what's going on? We have a super chat here from Yogi Dude. Unfortunately, it did not pop up on the screen because I had all the intro stuff running. Yogi Dude, show some love for the M's and edit the title. I can't fit anymore in the title. They only give me 100 letters to work with. I can't fit any more in the title, but I will show some love for the M's. You know why? Because I picked the Mariners to go to the ALCS this year. No one believed me. They looked horrible at one point, and now all of a sudden, they've won 13 straight games, and everyone thinks they're the best team on the planet. I've had hope for the Mariners ever since the offseason. I'm just saying, what can I say? Mason Duffy, what's going on, my friend? How you doing? Nicholas, one of our moderators, is here. Hello. Jordan Alvarez is here in the chat as well. What's going on? FaZe Oscar, hello. Robert, what's going on, my friend? Lisa Bishop, what is going on? Hello. Welcome. Thoughts on the draft? We're going to have to stay tuned because I'm going to dive into the draft here in a little bit. Lisa, if you did not see, I did a mock draft a couple nights ago. It's there on the channel if you want to go watch. I gave my picks for all 30 teams. About an hour and a half long. So grab your popcorn, grab a Dr. Pepper, and go tune into that. But I will talk a little MLB draft tonight. We're going to talk Juan Soto, of course. I mean, this is why I'm live. This is a Saturday night. I'm supposed to be off, I don't know, at the gym or something. And here I am. I'm live. This is supposed to be a night off for me. But this news is just too big. I have to talk about Juan Soto tonight. We're going to talk a little Luis Castillo as well. Andrew Benintendi. Could the Yankees be out on Mr. Benny Ball game? We're going to talk the MLB draft, like I just said. We got a lot to talk about tonight, everyone. But before I get started, if you can, everyone, hit that subscribe button if you're new. We are approaching 25,000 subscribers. Everyone, if you are new, hit that subscribe button. If you are looking for more baseball news and content, think about subscribing down below. Everyone, hit that like button. Where are we at for the likes? We're at 38 likes, and we got 148 people in here. Everyone, put down the green tea. Put down the Dr. Pepper, whatever you're drinking. Put down the mojito, whatever you may be sipping on right now, and take your finger and hit that like button for me right now. Also, everyone, hit the bell notification. We got a lot of news coming up for the month of July. We got the draft tomorrow night, so definitely hit that notification so you get notified every single time I go live or every time I upload a video. I did upload a video last night. I ranked the top first rounds in MLB draft history, so go take a look at that if you haven't already. And hey, share the stream if you can. That way people can trickle on through. And you know what? I'm actually going to share the stream right now onto Twitter. If you guys can, hop on Twitter and go share this for me as well. Go retweet it. Hold on one second. We are live. Alrighty, okay, it is on Twitter. Hopefully people trickle on through. But everyone, definitely, please, if you can, absolutely share the stream if you can. Okay, here we go. I am focused now. What is going on, everyone? Juan Soto, let's do it. Let's dig into this. I've actually done a video on this. I'm not surprised to see this because when you think of the Nationals, obviously that seems it seems like they should want to try and lock this guy up long term, which they did try today, unfortunately, according to reports. Let's take a look. Actually, you know what? Let me get the music on. Let me get the vibes set. Let's get everything ready. I was making myself a nice little espresso, and I got off track, and I forgot to get the music ready. So let's get this music on. Let's get the vibes right. What is going on here? I can't find anything. Everything is just broken right now. What is going on? Here we go. Here is the right music. Okay, here we go. Okay. All right, so let's go to the Athletics, shall we? Here we go. Juan Soto rejects $440 million. That's a lot of coin to reject. Are you kidding me? What in the world is going on? I mean, hey, that's all you got to read right here. Juan Soto is available. The All-Star outfielder recently turned down an offer from the Washington Nationals that would have made him the highest paid player in baseball history, and the team now plans to entertain trade offers for him, a seismic development leading to the August 2nd deadline. There were some rumors a little over a month ago where Buster Olney was reporting that there were a couple of teams out there that may be looking into possibly acquiring Juan Soto, but then all of those rumors kind of went away. Because you're thinking here, it's basically going to be impossible to trade for this guy. I'm going to dive into that here in a little bit, but it just seemed like it was too good to be true. It was looking more like the Nationals were looking to see if they could extend Juan Soto, and here we are. $440 million later, Juan Soto is now a trade piece out there. I'm still processing it in a way. I'm not surprised at it because Juan Soto could be, in my opinion, very soon the best player in all of Major League Baseball. There's an argument you can make already that he's the best player in Major League Baseball. But with Juan Soto, I just think it's, to me, turning down $440 million. This guy's looking for has to be looking for like 475, right? Maybe even 500 million. That's how, that is crazy that you have turned down $440 million. Could you imagine turning down $440 million? I have a hard time turning down $440. I have a hard time turning down $40. I mean, my goodness, $440 million. You'd be set for life. 15 years. You're done. It's over. You can just ride off into the sunset. You got all the money you ever need. You're good. Man, oh man, that is crazy. Why is he worth this much? Well, obviously it's Juan Soto. He's very good. But he's also under he's under that umbrella right now where he's so young as well. 23 years old. I think a lot of people forget that this guy's only 23. That's crazy. Absolutely crazy. 23 years old. You got to be kidding me. So after rejecting this, the Nationals are now going to be looking into some trades. So, speaking of trades, I want to dig into this, okay? I want to dig into this really quick. But first, before I do kind of dig into, I'm going to use baseball trade values. I'm going to kind of look at everything here. I'm going to take a look at what it would take for some teams to possibly pull off a trade for Juan Soto. But I have to just recognize this right now. Today, Jeff Passan, as you all know, many baseball fans out there, I would imagine every single baseball fan out there knows who Jeff Passan is. He's the guy when it comes to breaking some news. Him, Ken Rosenthal. I mean, you got Bob Nightingale out there too. You got Heyman out there. But Jeff Passan, usually when he tweets something, it has a lot of merit to it. Jeff Passan today tweeted this out. Every team has an algorithm that assigns a dollar value to a player. These numbers from baseball trade values are one example of those. Cannot imagine the Dodgers would do a deal like this, but it gives you a sense of just how much talent the Nationals would need to reap for Juan Soto. I am so incredibly happy for baseball trade values. They finally get the recognition they deserve. I have been using baseball trade values now for a few years. I discovered this website back in 2019. There are still people out there that don't believe it. They think it's crap. They think it's not a reliable source. There's even been baseball YouTubers out there. Supposedly, these expert baseball YouTubers out there. I'm not going to name any names, but there's even doubt coming from them. I know exactly one of them, and I still remember him saying, "Oh, no, I don't think that's really a reliable source when it comes to trades. I don't think they really know what they're talking about." Hey, man, you're wrong, because Baseball Trade Values is the best baseball trade simulator out there. I'm even repping the t-shirt tonight. I'm repping the t-shirt. We got a super chat. Joe Girardi hater, I agree with Jeff. Soto's value is way too high. So we're going to dig into his value. And the reason his value is so high, obviously the performance. You got the age. He's got a while until he gets to free agency. He's got a couple more years. I think 2025, if I'm remembering that off the top of my head. But there's a lot that goes into it, and it's not just the age, the contract control, the performance. It's also the projections as well. This guy is projected to put up just phenomenal numbers. He's putting up the best numbers in the league at 21, 22 years old. That's insane. That this guy is regarded as the next Ted Williams of Major League Baseball. He is that good. I think we all know how good Juan Soto is, but he is a once in a century kind of a player. Like Mike Trout was one of those, well, maybe a few in a century kind of a player. You got Mike Trout, who in my opinion is kind of like the modern day Mickey Mantle, and then you got someone like Juan Soto, who's like the modern day Ted Williams. Just an extremely good on base guy, just gets a ton of hits for power. He does everything, right? But Michael Yench has renewed his membership for the second month in a row. Michael Yench, thank you so much. But I need to shout out Baseball Trade Values here, because John over at Baseball Trade Values, as well as Josh that works over here, I just did a show with him this past Wednesday night. Every Wednesday, we're going live with a show to talk about all the trade rumors, all the trade news, and we're definitely going to be live this Wednesday. I mean, how could we not sit down and talk about the Juan Soto news? But this website, they have put so much work into this site. It is unbelievable the amount of work they've put into this site. Countless hours over the weekends, 20, 25, even 30-hour weekends, putting in time and effort into this site, just doing research, crunching numbers. And for someone like Jeff Passan to retweet them, absolutely phenomenal. Sometimes you need a bit of a break, and these guys have not been getting not a lot of recognition. And I am so happy for those guys over there, because they've worked extremely hard on this site. Today, they gained, if I'm trying to remember, I think yesterday they had around 4,500 followers. With one tweet from Jeff Passan, they gained around 1,300 followers today. That's insane. That is the most followers they've by far gained in a day. It's a fantastic website. There's 300 people in the chat. Please go to baseballtradevalues.com. They know what they're talking about over there. They crunch the numbers when it comes to player values. It's the most realistic trade simulator out there. And I would argue that it's the most realistic trade simulator out there in all sports. Baseball, basketball, football. Any sport, this is the best simulator out there. And anyone that's doubting it to this point, it kind of blows my mind, because if you take a look at the numbers, you're probably wondering, prove that they're the best simulator. Okay, well, I will do that. So if you go take a look here, over 345 real life trades have been put into this simulator. 327 of them have been accepted by their simulator, and around a 95% acceptance rate. I'm just saying, if you got a 95% on your test at school, you did pretty good. You did pretty good. Yeah, they're not going to be perfect, and they go by that too. They tell you that it's not going to be a perfect system, but they do a great job. over here. I mean, obviously, there's definitely room for conversation when it comes to some trades. Yeah, of course, you can post some really outlandish trades on here that just look ridiculous, but that's not the point. If you just go into the history, they have a whole ton of trades. Kimbrel to the Dodgers last year, Olsen to the Braves. You had Garver to the Rangers. You had the big one with Scherzer and Turner to the Dodgers last year, along with Chris Bryant. Remember Taillon to the Yankees, Snell to the Padres, Arenado to the Cardinals. I mean, even the Nolan Arenado to the Cardinals one, that one was one of the more extreme ones. And if you take a look, their simulator still approved this trade. Remember the Cardinals, they had to give up $50 million, or sorry, the Rockies had to give up $50 million along with Arenado. But if you take a look here, the Rockies actually received more value in return because Arenado's contract was so underwater. Obviously, that move is paying off really well right now for the Cardinals, but in the long term, it could end up helping out the Rockies. I think they shouldn't have extended him in the first place, but as you can see here, even a crazy trade like this was accepted by their simulator. They do fantastic work. I'm extremely happy for these guys. Jeff Passan giving them a bit of love today, and they really, I think they really deserve that. So, moving on. Juan Soto. Let's talk about Juan Soto. We're talking baseball trade values here, so let's break open some simulators. And actually, I've done a video on this. Not too long ago, I did a video, about a month ago, 5 MLB teams that make sense for a Juan Soto trade. So, if we're taking a look here at Juan Soto, when it comes to some teams that possibly make some sense. So, I did 5 teams. When I opened up the video, I talked about the Blue Jays and the Dodgers, and I talked about how they may not be the best teams for a Juan Soto trade just because their best prospects are catchers, and the Dodgers already have a catching prospect in Cartaya. So I don't know if that would be a package they would really be intrigued with, but I did list some other teams. So, and most of these trades as well, I attached Patrick Corbin in the trade, who has negative value at the moment. Also, these values have been updated, so don't pay attention to these values here. So some teams I went over. I went over with a bit of a shocker of a team, you know, the Baltimore Orioles, because they do have the prospect depth to get it done. They have a couple of pieces on the Major League roster that could get it done. Some other teams I mentioned, the Yankees, I think could get a deal done if they really wanted to. If we take a look here, the Padres. I also thought the Padres could be a pretty realistic team when it comes to acquiring a Juan Soto, because they have a CJ Abrams, who I think the Nationals would love to have. If we take a look here, going along further, I do know some super chats have come in. I'm going to go back to those and read them. So if I haven't acknowledged it yet, I promise I will get to those. I talked about the San Francisco Giants and how they could be a team where they have enough prospect depth to get it done. And then the final team that I talked about in this video were the Detroit Tigers. So if you would like to go hear my thoughts on these trades, go watch the video. I kind of broke it down. But most of these trades, I did include Patrick Corbin in that trade. And why am I including someone like Patrick Corbin? Well, there's a big reason for that, and that is Juan Soto has an extremely absurd amount of value. That's how good this guy is. So if I were to pull up here the Nationals, okay, so let's take a look here. Corbin has a negative 54.6. So if I let me just put out a team, I'll just put the Padres. Let's just put the Padres. I'm just throwing an example out here. So for the Nationals, I got Corbin to the Padres. And then, hold on, let me put Soto as well. And Soto, as of right now, has $193.7 million. So as you can see, because Corbin's contract is so bad, it's an underwater contract, that kind of helps bridge the gap. So if a team was willing, or if the Padres were willing to take on a bad contract like that, which I could see the Nationals be willing to do because it would help them financially, right? Obviously, with Soto, you would be freeing up a lot of money. By not re-signing Soto, you're really helping yourselves out financially over the long term. But I obviously they want to keep Soto around, but you are freeing yourself up with a lot of money. And Corbin, obviously, big contract they gave to him not too long ago. It's a bad contract, so that's helping bridge the gap here. So if you were to go now back to the Padres, well, you got C.J. Abrams. I would imagine he would have to be a part of this deal. I don't see how you don't put him in this deal. Now, if you're taking a look at some other guys, I mean, you kind of just start throwing guys in. Robert Hassel. I wonder. This might sound kind of crazy, but if you did Corbin and Soto for Abrams, Gore, and Hassel, that gets it done. You could essentially replace. I'm not saying this is a good idea, but it depends. How much do you want Soto? You could send Gore back, and then in exchange, you're just replacing Gore in the rotation with Corbin. Abrams would be your shortstop, and then you get Hassel, who's a really good outfield prospect. You could maybe take Hassel out, or let's say, I don't know, whatever. Take Gore out, because I know Padres fans, you're probably fuming that I even just put him in there. You could even put in someone like Wood, and then maybe someone like Merrill. So there you go. Padres fans, you're a little happier about that one. So maybe throw in one more guy here. I don't know, like a Savala. And then you're even at this point. I think the Padres have a realistic shot of getting Soto if it actually were to happen. I think they could get him. I really do. I think they would have to take on Corbin. I don't think there's a way around it, because if you take out Corbin, well, now you're having to make up so much more. I guarantee you Corbin would have to be a part of it. I don't see how you don't. So let's talk about another team. Before I get to another team, let me go back here because I had a few super chats come in. Here we go. Michael Yench, thank you for renewing your membership. Let me actually see if I can pull these up on the screen. Hold on a second. Michael Yench, thank you for becoming a member for the second straight month. Let's take a look. Is this one going to pop up here? Come on, Streamlabs. Jabba the Nut has become a member for 6 months. Thank you for that. Michael Yench. Michael Yench also dropping in a super chat here. Why is this being so slow? What are we doing? What is going on? Streamlabs, can you help me out here? Michael Yench did drop a $5 super chat. Oh, Ballcap Sports has been a member for 4 months. Ballcap Sports, thank you so much, my friend. Thank you so much. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Why is this not playing? Can this please play? Michael Yench, there it is. Soto my Padres. Soto my Padres. So I just pulled up a trade. That is what it would take. We had Jimmy Productions earlier. Wow, Streamlabs, you are just kind of killing me right now. I don't know why these are not playing. Why is it so slow? Come on. Oh my God, are we serious right now? This is okay, whatever. I'm just gonna have to read them. I don't know why Streamlabs is being difficult. Jimmy Productions, I don't think Juan Soto gets traded during the trade deadline. I think it's more likely he gets traded in the offseason or next season's trade deadline. I agree. I think because there's just so much that's going into a deal like that, I think more likely it would be an offseason kind of a thing. That would be even though, yeah, I know it's a big story. This might be dampening some moods here. You know, we're kind of excited about it. Whoa, Juan Soto at the trade deadline. Never say never with a whole bunch of with a lot of things out there, especially this one. I definitely think never say never with this. It could happen if the if the stars align. I definitely think something could happen, but I do think it's more likely if I were to put money down, I would think it would be more of an offseason kind of a move because you have a little more time to process some things. You know, we still have a couple of weeks until the deadline, so we'll have to wait and see. Who knows? You never know. There's a lot of pieces that are involved. I definitely think it is more of an offseason kind of a move, but it could happen. Michael Yanch, again, thank you. Soto to my Padres. Jimmy Productions, did you read my donation earlier? I think I did. Jimmy Productions, I am not seeing. Hold on, I might have. Hold on 1 second here, Jimmy Productions. Why is it not? Oh, yeah, I just read it. Yes, okay. Sorry, I was getting it mixed up. Then we also had Hogwatch. So, Hogwatch, Abrams, Gore, Campusano, Grisham, Hassel, and Merrill equals Soto. I mean, I think the Padres have what it takes to get it done. They have been using a lot of their prospects over the last couple of years. You know, you had the Darvish trade. You had Mike Clevinger a couple of years ago. They have definitely used a lot of pieces in their farm. But if you get Soto, you're basically you got no more farm, basically. But what do the Padres want to do? Do they feel like they can go for it now? If you get Soto, that could end up being a guy. Here's also another aspect of this. I think a team that trades for Soto, you have to have a realistic extension offer. Like, to me, I think, because why trade for him if you're not going to get this guy extended? I don't see, kind of like Mookie Betts. When he went to the Dodgers, he signed a long-term deal. I don't think Soto is just going to go. I don't think teams are going to give up a boatload of prospects for a couple of years of Soto. I think if they're going to get Soto, they want him for the long haul. I think the Padres, I don't know, we have seen them wanting to stay under the luxury tax. Could that end up, will that be a bit of an obstacle in trying to sign Soto? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But I do think that is something to keep in mind. I don't think a team is going to trade for him unless they want to sign him long term. So that's where I'm thinking with that. Hogwatch, thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate that. I'm seeing some people in the chat that know Hogwatch. So, Hogwatch, welcome to the channel, my friend. Welcome to the channel. But let's take a look here. We got some other possible trade candidates. A fun one is the Yankees. I don't think the Yankees will do it in the end, but they do have the now. Could you imagine what a plot twist this would be, right? What a plot twist. Here's the plot twist, right? You know, you had the Aaron Judge contract negotiations. What if this whole time the Yankees have not wanted to re-sign Judge because they want Juan Soto? What kind of that would be an amazing plot twist. Wolfpack 1977 3-team trade. I'm not even getting into that. It's so complicated enough as it is. 3-team trades, there's a lot of moving pieces that you got to look at. 3-team trades are very difficult, man. You got to make sure they're lined up. But let's take a look at what it would take for the Nationals and the Yankees. So I don't care what any of these people in New York media or whatever say about Anthony Volpe. Anthony Volpe's going in this deal. I don't care what anyone says. You have to put Volpe in this deal. I think for the Nationals, here's another thing. I've also seen people suggest that you could pair Steven Strasburg. I don't think that's going to happen, man. I think for the Nationals, the only way you include Strasburg is you would have to probably pay at least half of his contract. Do they want to do that? So he is at negative 153.5. Let's say you pay $70 million. Let's say the Yankees say they're going to take on half of his deal. Even then, I just don't. I don't find it realistic. I don't know. Let's say $100 million. I think Corbin is more likely the guy. Because Strasburg is just worth so much. And would teams want to take on Strasburg with all the health issues? I don't see it. I don't know, man. I mean, will they, knowing that they're going to get Soto? I don't know. I just don't see it because you're going to have to pay Soto long term. And obviously, yeah, you would be getting a lot of cash here. I don't know. So I don't know. Let's just play along with it. I'll do $100 million. And it sounds like that's a lot of money, man. I don't think there's ever been that much. Has there ever been that much money included in a trade? I don't know. You know what? I'm just gonna go Corbin here. Let's do that. I'm not gonna mess around here. Let's get rid of Strasburg. Strasburg on the Yankees would be quite interesting. If he was healthy, man. Could you imagine a healthy Steven Strasburg and Garrett Cole? What the heck? Let's just go with this. Okay, Corbin and Soto. The Yankees. So you're still looking at around $80 million worth of value. They'd have to really start throwing in some guys. I mean, to me, Peraza, Pereira. Even then, I don't know. You're still pretty far. Around, what, $50 million right now? It's going to be tough. I don't know, man. I don't know. Looking a little suspect here. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Volpe would have to be in this deal because you're making up so much ground with his value. Could you imagine the Yankees just send back Judge? I mean, that's not going to happen, but that would be hilarious. I don't know. Let's say Gleyber Torres as a major league ready player. Even still, you're still $30 million apart. I mean, I guess you can do a couple more guys. You can do Dominguez, Waldichuk. I don't know. That's a lot of pieces, man. It's a lot of pieces. It gets it done, though. Trade accepted by the simulator. I mean, you got to remember here, this is what it would take to make it. This is a huge value. This is a huge value. So that's pretty much it. I don't see how else you get around it. Judge isn't going to be in a trade. That'd be hilarious. I would die laughing if that happened. Could you imagine? All right, Judge, you didn't want to sign with us long term? All right, we're sending you to Washington so we can get Juan Soto instead, and then we'll sign him long term. I would die laughing. That would be hilarious. But as a Red Sox fan, I would die laughing, and then I would cry myself to sleep after that because I knew we would have to deal with Juan Soto for the next 15 years. So, actually, I take that back. I don't want this to happen. I will not laugh. I will cry from the start. Absolutely not. Anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about... you know what? In that video I did the Tigers. Let's do the Tigers. I think the Tigers are a very interesting team that could possibly get in the mix. A team on the rise. Because you got prospects. Everyone loves prospects. Here we go. And where the Tigers have an advantage is they have a top prospect who has a ton of value that could go back in the deal. So let's do it. Soto. Again, I'm going to put Corbin here just to kind of get rid of some of that value from Soto. I feel like I've said value like a million times. I'm sorry. But that guy I'm talking about is Riley Green. You start off with Riley Green and you're about a little more than halfway there. So now we can just put together Scooble. Yeah, you want Scooble? All right, we'll take it Scooble. And at this point, you're made in the shade. You can go with a couple of guys here. I don't know. You want Keith, shortstop prospect? Perfect. Man, You want, I don't know, Campos, Creedler? Bada bing, bada boom. Riley Green, Skubal, Keith, and Creedler. That's the advantage that the Tigers have because you got Riley Green. I'm sorry, if I'm the Detroit Tigers and I got a choice of Juan Soto or Riley Green, I mean, I'm taking Juan Soto every single day. I mean, I love Riley Green. I think he's going to end up being a really good player. But I think this is where the Tigers have the advantage because they have a prospect like this. You know? Just saying. Look out for the Detroit Tigers. Look out for the Detroit Tigers. Joe Kagan, Deuce Soto to the Mariners. Oh, my. Let's have some fun here. The Mariners. What's going on here? Let's do the Nationals and the Mariners. Let me reset this. Here we go. The Nationals and the Mariners. Could you imagine them coming together? Corbin. Corbin is the key. A contract like Corbin, I think, is the key for this trade. So, here we go. What could the Mariners send back in a trade? Well, and I'm going to be honest with you. It's not going to be Julio Rodriguez. The Mariners are going to be like, nah, we'd rather keep Julio Rodriguez. We're good. So, could you get it done without Julio Rodriguez? Sure, why not? Let's start off with Noelvi Marte. Why not? You want a picture in there? You want Kirby? All right, we'll send you back Kirby. We'll give you a picture. How about, Kelnick? He hasn't worked out in Seattle. Let's do Kelnick. Oh, Aaron Judge with a home run. Oh, kill me now. Here we go. Who else we sending back? Kyle Lewis. He's always hurt. You want him? There you go. Kyle Lewis. Ooh, look at the Mariners, man. 4 players right here. Kirby would be a tough one to give up. I would hate to give up Kirby. That would sting. Even if I'm getting Soto, the fact that I'm losing Kirby. Oh, Mariners fans, I'm sorry. But you got pretty much one more guy here that can get this done. You're what? You need $6 million? Let's do it. Little Emerson Hancock right there. How about Gonzalez, outfield prospect? 3 outfielders, a pitcher, and a shortstop. Done deal. Bada bing, bada boom. Juan Soto to the Mariners could happen. Would the Mariners want to sign Soto to a long-term extension? Man, this could be their chance when they didn't sign Ken Griffey Jr. to a long-term deal. Well, now you could do Juan Soto instead. So, I think this could be interesting. But the Mariners could get this done without Julio Rodriguez. Absolutely. Yang Gang. Let's do my Red Sox. Let's do the Red Sox. Why not? Let's do it. What the heck are my Red Sox going to have to give up for Soto? Hein Bloom, are you out there? Are you watching right now? I know you're at Ross Dress for Less right now looking for deals. I know you're at, these bargain hunting places looking for deals out there for some polo t-shirts. But I hope you're listening. I need you to hear me out here. Let's get Juan Soto on the Red Sox. Why don't we? Here we go. The Nationals. Whatever, I'll take Patrick Corbin. That's some pitching depth. Patrick Corbin stinks, but we'll take him. Whatever. Here we go. All right. Oh, man. Ugh. Well, we got to give up Marcelo Meyer. That's done. That makes me sad. Oh, do we have to give up Tristan Casas? Oh. Could you give up Devers? That sounds ridiculous. Hear me out. I don't want to trade Devers. I'm just going to say that right off the bat. But the Red Sox and Rafael Devers have had trouble coming to terms on a contract extension. Rafael Devers. I'm just saying. Would the Red Sox want to extend Juan Soto? I don't know. Here's the question. Would the Red Sox want to extend Juan Soto instead of Rafael? It sounds like a no-brainer, but this is the Red Sox we're talking about here. They don't like to give out these big contracts. if you're getting Juan Soto at 23 years old, could you get a deal done? I mean, it sounds pretty crazy, but well, hold on a second. I got an idea. Let's put in Devers. Let's put in... So, in the outfield, right? So, right now, I've already pulled up the Red Sox depth chart. So, as of right now, it's a little crowded in that outfield. You got Duran. You got Verdugo. You got Jackie Bradley Jr. out there. You got Rob Refsnyder on the bench. But, I'll say this right now. If we had a chance to get Soto, I'm absolutely giving up Verdugo. Could you imagine giving up Devers and Verdugo in this deal? And man, I'm telling you, I mean, it sounds ridiculous, honestly. One guy who's heating up really very much in the Red Sox minor league system right now is Kadeni Rafaela. He has been insane. Look out for this guy. This guy is just a uber athlete. The dude is fast. He's got some pop. Look out for Kadeni Rafaela, man. He's actually improved a lot. But let's say the Nationals have taken notice of it. They want him too. Well, you're getting pretty close. Nick York. And if you were to include Devers and Verdugo here, I mean, for the Nationals, would they more likely want to try and extend those guys? To extend Devers and Verdugo, that would be a lot cheaper than Soto. Absolutely. And then hold on, no spamming in the chat, please. No spamming in the chat. If you did Devers and Verdugo, if you're the Nationals, I mean, you could extend two players for a lot cheaper, you know? So maybe that could entice the Nationals. I think I don't know if Bloom would do something like this, to be completely honest. It doesn't sound like Bloom's style, you know, but he could get it done if he really wanted to. So, I mean, if you'd basically be replacing Devers with Soto, and then you're getting a starting pitcher out of it. But the question is, would the Red Sox re-sign him? I don't know. So, I don't know, man. I don't know. But the Red Sox would be an interesting one. Jason Nunez. Let's do Juan Soto to the O's. The Baltimore Orioles. Could you imagine with how good the Orioles have been playing? Could you imagine they go out there and get Juan Soto? Would the Nationals send Soto over to the Orioles? You know, crosstown rivals. Would they do this? I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't think it really matters at this point. But let's do it. Soto. And then once again, using Corbin. The Orioles, I think, are an interesting team. They'd have to give up a lot. You got Gunnar Henderson, who right there makes up about a half of the value. So Gunnar Henderson, bang, done. Now, the question is, would you be willing to give up someone like Cedric Mullins? I mean, why not? I would. If I could get Soto, I'd give up Mullins. I mean, if that allows you to save on your prospects, I'm just saying. I would. If I could get Juan Soto for the next 15 years, I'm giving away Mullins all day. I do like me some Cedric Mullins, but all right, let's keep going. Westberg, let's throw him in there. And look at that. These three players right now. So you probably wouldn't even have to give up Mullins. Let's give up a couple of prospects here. Colton Cowser. And now you're 33 million away. So you can give up a couple of guys. Could you give up Hall? I mean, Orioles fans, I mean, tell me you wouldn't do that. Tell me you would not do that. Come on. Gunnar Henderson, DL Hall, Colton Cowser, and Jordan Westberg for Soto and Corbin. Look me in the face and tell me you would not do that. You would absolutely do it. Absolutely, you would do it. That's not even a lot when you really, like, yeah, you're giving up one big piece in Gunnar Henderson. He is really improved, but come on. I would do that all day. I would do it, man. And the Orioles, look out for the Orioles because they got money. They got money, man. They do. So they've given out big contracts in the past. They can get Soto. I absolutely think the Orioles could get Soto. If they really wanted to. They would that would definitely change course in what they're trying to accomplish. But the Orioles, they're not a team that, doesn't have money like the Rays or the Guardians. They're not like these, the small market team. The Orioles, they got a little financial flexibility there. I saw earlier, let's do the Astros. I don't think the Astros would make a lot of sense because I don't think they line up very well. At least off the top of my head. I don't think they're lining up very well. You would, hold on. Maybe they do. I haven't looked at the Astros for a Juan Soto trade for a little bit. Again, we're doing Corbin. A lot of what the Astros have are already in the major leagues. Their farm system is not very good. You're not giving up Kyle Tucker. I mean, would you do that? If Astros, man, would the Nationals do that? I don't know. That's interesting. If you know you're not going to get, if you know Soto's gone, do you just take Tucker in return? I don't know, man. And then it's just a done deal. All right. You want Soto? All right, you got to give us Tucker. I don't know. Or Alvarez. You could do Tucker straight up, or you could do Alvarez and a couple of guys. Alvarez, Hunter Brown, and then, I don't know, maybe like Lee. Could you do that? That would be interesting. So, I don't know. I think the Astros, I think it's too, they don't have enough prospects. I don't think they would give up Tucker. I don't think that would work. Value-wise, it works. But I don't know if the Nationals, would they just want one guy in Kyle Tucker? I don't know. At least you would have Kyle Tucker for the next, 5 or 6 years, or 5 years or so until he hits free agency, or 4 years or whatever it is. I don't think Kyle Tucker's a free agent until like 27 or so. Or like 26. But I saw someone ask for the Rangers. Could the Rangers be a trade candidate? Let's talk about the Rangers, huh? Let's do the Rangers. The Rangers farm system has really improved over the last few years. So let's see. Maybe the Rangers could pull off something here. Again, if you're wondering, I'm putting Corbin basically in every single trade. Why? Because it helps the other team make up the value. So if they take on a bad contract. So we got Young. Going back to the Nationals. I feel like Leiter would be untouchable. I don't know. I just have that. You got Carter. I just have that hunch. You throw Carter in here. I don't know. It might be tough for the Rangers, man. The Rangers right now, sure, some of these guys could really end up being good, but at this exact moment in time, I don't know if the Rangers would be able to get this done. They got guys here, but they don't have a lot of values. You could do White, Foscue, Wynn, but even then, you're kind of falling short, and you're already at 5 guys. So I would love 5 guys right now. 5 guys burger, please. Can we make that happen? I might have to go do that really quick. We got baseball to talk about. We got Juan Soto to talk about. No 5 guys burger for me. But I think the Rangers would have a bit of a tough time. But yeah, I don't know. Rodney Hale, Robbie, do the Cardinals. All right, let's do one more. We'll do the St. Louis Cardinals. I don't think the Cardinals would give that money to him. I don't think they would do it. Why is my computer freezing? What is going on? What is the biggest contract the Cardinals have given out? Is it Goldschmidt? I don't know. What is the biggest Cardinals, or the biggest Cardinals contract? St. Louis Cardinals biggest contracts. Oh, that's right, Matt Holliday. Yeah, 120. Or was Goldschmidt? Well, Arenado doesn't really count because the Rockies sent over a lot of money there. Where is... I don't want the payroll. I just want the contracts. Let's do active contracts. Let's do all time. Is it Goldschmidt or was it Pujols when they signed him that one time? So they have Arenado, but again, they didn't give him that. So yeah, I guess it was Pujols because they did sign him. No, it wasn't Pujols. No, that's why is this here? Why is that here? Oh, because I don't get that. Why is John Lester here? That's annoying. It's like I guess Goldschmidt would be the actual biggest contract they've given out. So yeah, in terms of what they've given. So I don't know. Anyway, I don't know if the Cardinals would do it. But we can still I don't know. I don't think the Cardinals can do this. Because they don't have the prospects. I mean, what do they have? There's no way. I don't think the Cardinals can do this. I mean, well, okay, hold on a second. You could give up Dylan Carlson. Okay. Maybe. Hold on. You'd have to be willing to give up Dylan Carlson, though. That's the only way you're going to do it. Oh, I don't know. If you did Jordan Walker, you're pretty much there. Oh, man. Ooh, would the Cardinals? No, they wouldn't do this. They got 3 guys that you... And then if they gave up these 3 guys, and then the Nationals also paid... So let's say, yeah, hold on. Let's do 20 million to the Cardinals. Interesting. You'd have to do Carlson, Walker, and win. And then the Cardinals would be getting Corbin, Soto, and some cash. Oh. Yeah, I mean, that Carlson is a game changer. I wasn't thinking of Dylan Carlson because I'm thinking prospects. But yeah, Carlson would be a game changer. Interesting. Oh, man. Could you imagine the Nationals getting this package? I would love this package. I really would. Oh, man. The big hang-up here is the Cardinals. Would they be willing to re-sign him? They haven't given out a big contract like that ever. So, I don't know. That would be the only sticking point. I don't see the Cardinals doing it. It's not really their style. But, man, that would be pretty cool. That would be pretty cool. Let's see. I think I saw one other team. Trying to think, who's the other team I had in the video? I did the Orioles, the Tigers, the Yankees... I don't remember the other team. Oh, I did the Padres. And who was the other team that I did? I did the Dodgers. Might not line up very well because I don't know if the Nationals... Well, maybe the Nationals would be interested in Diego Cartaya if they feel like Kyber Ruiz wouldn't be the guy long term. I don't know. It's possible. It's possible. I feel like... Also, did I miss a super chat earlier? The Breakies, $2 super chat. Also, I paused the super chats here. Let me play them. I paused the super chats because they were all going they were just being weird and they were lagging. So again, I think I clicked on this one 3 times. But Michael Yanch had the $5 super chat earlier. Soto to my Padres. I think the Padres could get it done. Absolutely. From the breakies earlier, we had a $2 super chat. I heard the Cards are linked to Soto. It's definitely possible. Yeah, I got to stop these super chats. I don't know what's going on here. Can I... Oh, what if I did this? Does that work? Oh, we had a few super chats come in. Oh, wow. Here we go. So I don't think so. Why is this being so slow? I don't know why this is being so slow. Let me come back to you here so you're not seeing all this nonsense. But here we go. Joe Girardi hater, $1.99. Judge hit a bomb. Caleb Albritton, $1.99. Soto to the Rays. Here's the thing with the Rays. They got the prospects to get it done. They got the prospects. Do they have the money for an extension? I don't know about that. We had Caleb, $1.99. How much would it take for Soto to Cincy? I feel like for Cincinnati, let me pull this up here. I don't know. I don't think the Reds would do it because there's the Hogwatch donation from earlier. Again, thank you for that. I don't think Cincinnati would do it because, I mean, they've been crying poor for the last, couple years now. So I don't think the Reds would do it. That, I don't know. It doesn't really match up with how they've been operating. We had JQ Frutos. Also, the breakies here. I heard the Cardinals linked to Soto. JQ Frutos. Padres trade prospects and Hosmer for Soto and Bell. I feel like including Hosmer would actually hurt them because that would be taking away from what the Nationals would be getting because Hosmer has a negative value. Hosmer has a very under the water kind of a contract. So if I were to actually pull up the Padres one more time, just to kind of show you what I'm talking about. Here we go. So the Padres right now. So Joe Girardi hater. Judge just hit a bomb. I hate my life. But yeah, as you can see here, Hosmer, Caleb Albritton, Soto to the Rays. Again, I think they have the prospects. They could get something done, but would they be able to sign Soto to a long-term deal? Could you imagine if they got him, they moved to a new stadium, and that's their guy? Could you imagine Wander Franco and Juan Soto in the same lineup? What the heck is going on? But Hosmer, as you can see here, has a negative 34.50. So that is already kind of putting you in a bad spot. I don't see how you do it. Yeah, you wouldn't be able to do Hosmer here because he has negative value. So, and you're already so far away in value with Soto. I mean, even if you are throwing in Corbin, well now, yeah, dude, it's not helping. So, yeah, you can't do Hosmer in this deal. That wouldn't work. You'd have to give up more, unless the Padres sent over cash. I guess you could do that, but then again, I don't see what that would really be doing. It would be interesting. So there is the super chat. Padres trade prospects and Hosmer for Soto and Bell. You would have to throw in. The Padres would have to pay Hosmer's the rest of his deal or pay off his value, but then they would have to take on Corbin. So I don't know. It doesn't make a whole ton of sense if you ask me, but whatever. You can just roll with it. But yeah, if you pay off some of his contract here, then yeah, you could get something done. They have the prospects to do it. So, but yeah, everyone. Yeah, man, this is Gray Simpkins. I just did the Cardinals a little bit ago. Just rewind and I did the Cardinals. You could do a package of Dylan Carlson, Jordan Walker, and Mason Wynn. That's possible. The Cardinals could get something done. Or, you know what? Orioles 2041. Orioles 2041. Let's do this. I'll do one more. This is the last one I'm going to do. I don't want to stick around with Juan Soto too much. Well, no, I do, but I feel like I've been talking about Soto now for like an hour. But let's do the Mets, because I have seen people all over Twitter be like, oh, Steve Cohen, he's going to go after Soto. All right. This would be in division. So I don't know if the Nationals, would they want to do this? Would they want to send Soto to the Mets? I don't know about that. But whatever. Let's do it. Can the Mets pull off a deal? You would have to start off with Alvarez. You would have to put in Beatty, most likely. You'd have more of an upside kind of a guy in Ramirez. And yeah, you are pretty close here. So you're getting there. Maybe throw in an Allen. And then, yeah, you might have something here. I don't know if the Nationals would do this, though. Would you want to send Soto to a team in your division? I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. And then another thing, too, would the Nationals want Alvarez? They already have Kyber Ruiz. I mean, Alvarez, in my opinion, I would rather have Alvarez instead of Kyber Ruiz, but I don't know. I don't think this would happen. I think the Mets would be more likely to get Soto in free agency. So that's just my personal opinion. I feel like they just wouldn't really do a trade. I don't know. Mets won't do Beatty, Alvarez, and Allen. I guarantee if you got him Juan Soto, they would do it. I absolutely think that. This is Juan Soto we're talking about here. Juan Soto. This is not like some really good outfielder. This is Juan freaking Soto. Absolutely you're giving up Alvarez, Allen, and Beatty for Juan Soto. Absolutely you are. Absolutely. It's Soto. He's a transcendent player, and he's only 23 years old. Absolutely I am doing that. If the Mets didn't do that, they would be ridiculous. I'm sorry, but no way. I don't think the Nationals would do this deal, because they don't want to send Soto to the Mets and have to deal with him for the next 15 years. It would be crushing if he went to the Mets in free agency. There's no way they would do it themselves. I don't see that. But here we go. I think that's enough Juan Soto here. That's as you can see, we did quite a few teams there. You can see what it's going to look like to get Soto. And if any of you are just coming in, I have been using baseball trade values for about 3 years now. Don't think that just because Jeff Passan, tweeted out baseball trade values today, that's the only reason I'm using it. I've been using this site for about 3 years. So I just want to point that out. I'm very happy that baseball trade values got the recognition that they finally got it. They absolutely deserved it. But yeah, just want to point this out. I've known about baseball trade values way longer than Jeff Passan. I'm going to point that out to all of you. Okay. So just don't think that I'm on here just because Mr. Jeffy Jeff tweeted it out today. That's not the case. So, but yeah, speaking of baseball trade values, every single Wednesday night, for at least the next little while, me and John of Baseball Trade Values, we've been doing a show. This past week, it was Josh who is working for Baseball Trade Values right now. So I think John is going to be back this Wednesday, but every Wednesday we are doing a show. So I'm sure you're all going to want to be here this coming Wednesday to hear John's thoughts on all of this. So please be here Wednesday night, probably around 8 o'clock. That's when we'll go live. You're going to want to be here. John is probably going to have a lot to say about this whole situation. But let's move on to a couple of little stories here, because I don't want to be on here for too much longer. I got to go make myself some food. I'm getting tired. And you know what? Actually, I will point this out. Oh, did Aaron Judge really just go deep again? Holy crap. What was this? Team record 33 home runs before the break. Holy cow. That ties Roger Maris. He ties Roger Maris for 33 home runs before the break. Will Aaron Judge break the record? I mean, I think he has a shot. I absolutely think he has a shot. We'll have to wait and see. There also Tilly. The table works really good. It should work out great. Yeah, Tilly. I agree, man. I thought it was really good. But there was also this article on The Athletic. I might do a separate video on this. Juan Soto trade sweepstakes. What would it take for your team to land a generational talent? So they actually, I might do a separate video on this because a lot of these guys put together some trade packages. So like they did one with the Cubs. Oh, I kind of want to do one right now. So you got the Cubs, the White Sox, the Angels, the Dodgers. Ooh, this might be an entire video, everyone. I think I'm going to do an entire video. I'm going to review these trades. I'm going to review them. Oh, I'm excited to do this. I am really excited to do this video, everyone. Oh, yeah. When I get to review other people's trades, especially Jim Bowden. I don't think this is Jim Bowden, but every time I get to review Jim Bowden trades, I am an extremely happy man, and I am excited to criticize how bad Jim Bowden's trades are. So be on the lookout for those. I guarantee he's going to be having some articles coming out soon suggesting trades for the deadline. I hope he comes out with some Juan Soto trade ideas. I hope. I am praying. Please. Baseball gods, please have Jim Bowden do an article on Juan Soto trades. Please. I need to see it. I have to. Please. Oh, Super Chat's coming in. What's going on? Michael Yench. Also, Jake the Rake Cronenworth is now an All-Star. Yes, he is. Included into the All-Star roster now. Nick, what's going on? How is Espinal an All-Star but not Ty France? I don't know. I think the All-Star game is a complete joke. To be completely honest, I think it's just losing its credibility. It's not good, man. I understand there's always going to be snubs, but it's just getting to a point now where it's just really ridiculous. Like Tim Anderson over Xander Bogaerts at shortstop. It makes no sense. I'm sorry. Like, you got to get rid of the fan voting. I don't know, man. I don't know. Let me pick the All-Star teams. My goodness. Let me pick them. All right, don't let me pick them. I'll probably pick bad teams. But yeah, Juan Soto is in the chat. No more fan vote. Juan Soto agrees. But yeah, let me actually plug in one trade from this article. And let's actually see how good this trade is. I mean, honestly, well, hold on a second. It says here. Oh, did I just click out of? Oh, man, I clicked out of the wrong one. Here we go. The Juan Soto trade sweepstakes. Here we go. So I'm just going to do this first one with the Cubs. I'm going to do the Cubs. Here we go. So who made this article? Were these all presented by Andy McCullough? Who is Andy McCullough? He does mention here, the Nationals may ask any interested suitors to absorb an additional contract, as the Marlins did with Cabrera and Dontrelle Willis. So again, he mentions Corbin here. I don't think it's going to be Strasburg. I think that deal is just too much. So he says here, a deal built around. Does he mention Corbin in this? Oh, this is okay. So these are different people. Sahadev Sharma, James Fegan, Sam Blum. Are these writers for The Athletic, or are these just random people? Or Tim Britton? Actually, these might be people that work for The Athletic. Yeah, these are people that work for The Athletic. Oh, I can't wait. I get to criticize more than one person at The Athletic. My dreams have come true. My dreams have come true. Oh, my goodness. All right, here we go. Let's see. Sahadev Sharma. Let's see if he knows what he's doing. A deal. I already feel like this is not going to be enough. Nico Horner, Justin Steele, Brennan Davis, Peter Crow Armstrong, Caleb Killian, and Christian Hernandez. Does he include Corbin here? I don't think he does. All right. Okay, let's see how bad this is. Oh boy. Oh, who is this again? Sahadev Sharma. You're about to get the... I don't even know what the word is, but it's not good. Here we go. Let's do it. Nationals. He doesn't have Corbin in here. It's already going to be bad because there's no way these players make up that difference. I'll include Corbin. I'll give him a little bit of a break. All right, he's got Davis. He's got Crow Armstrong. He's got Christian Hernandez. So you're off to a decent start there. Brennan Davis, Crow Armstrong. He has Horner. Okay, maybe. I mean, if it's just for Soto, and Caleb Killian. So for Soto straight up, it's not going to work. Okay? It's not going to work. You have to include Corbin. This is going to be basically the Miguel Cabrera Dontrelle Willis trade. It's basically that trade. If you need one trade that is like Juan Soto, or or if you have one, I think I said that wrong. If you have one trade for Juan Soto that's compared to any other trade in history, it's Miguel Cabrera, Dontrelle Willis. Like, that's the closest one you're going to get. So I'm putting Corbin. So Corbin is basically acting like Dontrelle Willis here, and Soto is Miguel Cabrera. So this deal, if you include Corbin, it's not too far off. JM1231, $2 super chat. Horner having more value than Hernandez is crazy. I think it's just because Horner, I kind of don't disagree with it. Because Horner has kind of established himself as a pretty good player. He's having a good year. He's still young. He still has a lot of, contract control. Or he has a lot of control until he gets to free agency. Hernandez is still a little unproven, if you ask me. How has he been doing in the minors? Obviously, he's gotten comparisons to Alex Rodriguez. But he's in rookie ball. I think Horner having more value than Hernandez, I think that's appropriate. And if you look at Hernandez right now, in rookie ball, he's hitting 261, a 324 on base, a few homers. Oh, I think that makes sense. And they're actually not even that far apart. Horner has 25.6, Hernandez has 19.7. So I think Hernandez needs to simply establish himself a little bit more. Imagine when he does. He's going to have a way higher value than Horner, I think. Unless Horner starts to just blow up. So I think it's appropriate for right now. So you're saying Horner has literally no power. Hernandez's ceiling is through the roof. And yeah, his ceiling is through the roof. But he hasn't reached any kind of a floor yet. So he has to hit that floor first. That's the difference. And yeah, Horner doesn't have any power, but he has been playing pretty well. And if you take a look here, let me go to Fangraphs. He's having himself a good year. I mean, look at the year he's having. He's got an okay slugging, 430. It's not terrible. But he's hitting 308 with a 342 on base. And he's playing really good defense. Look at his defense. 9.4. He's not going to be the offensive machine, but he plays a good all-around game. This year, he's having his best season by far. A 2.7 WAR. He's on track right now to be around a 5-win player. So that's pretty good if you ask me. He's 25 years old, still pretty young. He's not making really anything. Not a free agent for a few years. So, I like Horner, man. I do. I think Christian Hernandez, just with him, he needs to start building up more of a floor. He hasn't really proven himself yet. He's got a lot of hype. He's got a ton of ceiling, but the floor is a little too low. Here we go. Alex Wallace, I agree. Let's move on. Let's talk a little Luis Castillo. That's enough Juan Soto for today. With Luis Castillo, hold on a second. Let me actually Let me plug in some pictures here. I forgot to set these. Here we go. So, Luis Castillo. Luis Castillo. It's looking like the Astros are showing some interest. Oh, could you imagine the Astros pulling off this deal? Everyone would be going crazy. Everyone would be losing their minds. Oh, the Houston Astros. The Astros. You know what? Hey. If the Astros got Luis Castillo, what a rotation this would be. So, as of right now, we're getting a report out there. So here's the thing with Castillo. Pretty much every team in contention is in there for Luis Castillo. They got their foot in the door. They want Luis Castillo. He's gonna make their team better. I think ultimately he ends up with the Yankees. That's where I think he's gonna end up. That's where I think he should end up. I think the Yankees should absolutely go for him. To me, that sets them apart. I think so. According to the article here, virtually every win now team figures to inquire on Castillo, who'd upgrade any rotation. The Dodgers, Yankees, Blue Jays, Cardinals, Mariners, and Twins all have been linked to the Cincinnati starter in recent weeks. Eric Boland of Newsday and Sweeney Murdy of WFAN both report the Astros are also in the mix. John Heyman of New York Post adds that teams like the Mets and Padres, who'd been linked to Castillo early in the process, are likelier to prioritize adding offensive help than an impact starter. I find it interesting with the Astros. Let's pull up the Astros because they got a ton of starting pitching. They have one of the best rotations in the game. Verlander has been having an amazing season. But take a look at the rotation. You got a lot of starting pitching here. Valdez, Verlander, Urquidy, Odorizzi, Luis Garcia, Christian Javier. I mean, you got a lot of depth here. To me, I think if you have a chance to add Castillo, I definitely think you should go after it. No matter how much pitching you have. You can never have too much pitching. You can make it work. But let's put together a trade here. Can the Astros pull off a deal for Luis Castillo? Now, this is going to look a lot easier now, considering, we just went over all these Juan Soto trades. We're plugging in all these top prospects. This is going to be much easier. Going to be a lot easier. So, let's talk about the Reds. Here we go. Castillo, right now, about $38.5 million worth of value. So, let's see. What could the Astros give up? I think you would have to start off with someone like a Hunter Brown. Or at least his name would definitely get brought up. But I think Hunter Brown could be an appropriate piece to have in the conversation. Remember, everyone, if you want to get something good, you have to give up something good. So don't sit here and tell me, oh, no way we're giving up Hunter Brown. No way. Never say never when it comes to top prospects. But Hunter Brown, I definitely think he could start the conversation. Don't forget, there is someone like Forrest Whitley, but his value's really taken a hit based off of, all the injuries that he's been having. This guy was once one of their top prospects, and now he only has a value of $2 million. So he had Tommy John. But I think you have to start here with Hunter Brown. I think he makes a lot of sense. And you could throw in some other guys here. You got a couple of catchers. So, as of right now, Corey Lee is their highest ranked catcher. But you got Yainer Diaz, who this year has been having a really good year in the minor leagues, hitting .297 with a .347 on base, 14 homers, 63 RBIs. He's good in the field, man. Well, he has a good arm out in the field. His overall defense is still lagging, but really good hit tool, not a lot of power. So, could you include Yainer Diaz? I definitely think you could. So let's put him in here. So at this point, you're maybe a couple of pieces away. So let's put in Barber. Barber is their number 5 prospect, Colin Barber. And then essentially you just maybe need one more piece if you wanted to match up values. So one $3 million player. Let's throw in Perez. So Perez right now, Joe Perez is the number 8 prospect. So if you wanted to, again, it doesn't have to be on the dot. It doesn't need to be exactly accurate. You could maybe have a little bit of wiggle room. Another thing I want to point out here is these values that I'm putting up here, these are the median trade values. So for someone like Kyle Tucker, right? I'm just using him as an example. His value could go as low as $111.5 million. And it could go as high as 161. So just remember, these are the median values because it gives a little more flexibility. So they don't need to be right on the dot, right? But so I think a deal like this could get something done, possibly. Maybe you don't have to include someone like Perez. Maybe Barber, Brown, and Diaz can get it done. But I think the Astros could absolutely get a deal done. It would be an insane rotation. They would be huge favorites, I think, if they added Luis Castillo in the American League. The Yankees are obviously really good, but if you have Verlander, Castillo, Valdez as your, starters for games 1, 2, and 3, that is pretty nuts. That's pretty nuts. So I would not discount the Astros at all when it comes to a possible trade candidate. It just depends on, here's the thing with the Reds. They're going to get a lot of offers. They're going to pick their favorite offer. I think it comes down to, there's a lot of teams that could get a deal done. It's what package is the Reds going to like the most. That's what it's going to come down to. I don't know what they're going to like the most. I don't know what it's going to be. At this point, if I'm looking at in terms of prospects, it's very, the Dodgers obviously has some good pieces there. I think they would probably like a package. It depends on what the Dodgers offer. But if we're looking at values on this website, I think the Dodgers might have the most attractive package. I think the Yankees could have a pretty nice package. I don't know. It's really going to come down to what the Reds like at the end of the day. I think the Astros could have something pretty attractive. We'll have to wait and see on that. Let's move into our next story. Here. Speaking of the Yankees, Andrew Benintendi has been a possible target for them, but now it's looking not very likely. It's looking like the Yankees might be moving on from Andrew Benintendi. Let's take a look at this, because I've been wondering if Benintendi could be a fit for the Yankees for a long time now, but I'm wondering if maybe they're having some trouble out there, because you're going to have to get rid of Gallo, because you're not going to have Benintendi and Gallo on the same team. I think you would have to move on from Gallo somehow. But another thing too is, I'm not going to get deep into this. I don't want to hear all of it. It's the vaccination status. Benintendi's not traveling to Toronto, and I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to dive into it. Please don't talk about it in my chat. But I think that's a holdup, right? Because if you're the Yankees, you're going to be playing the Blue Jays a lot. I don't know. Does it make a lot of sense to go get Benintendi? At the end of the day, one of the most important parts of a player's value is their availability. So if they're not able to play important games against the Blue Jays, why are you going to go after that player? But taking a look here, where was the Royals outfielder Andrew Benintendi has reportedly been a target of both the Blue Jays and the Yankees. So again, I don't see the Blue Jays going after him just because of the vaccination. John Heyman of the New York Post now reports that the Yankees are also unlikely to further pursue the outfielder. So, of course, the Blue Jays would be out on it too. I'm not surprised about it. I also think it's probably going to be a little, they're going to have a bit of a problem maybe matching up with someone for Gallo. Feel like there's not going to be a big market for him. Again, you would have to move on from him somehow. I think there are some teams out there that could make sense for Benintendi. The Braves at one point were looking for a left-handed bat. Could the Braves maybe jump in on it? If I'm looking at some other teams. I'm going blank on some teams. The White Sox could use a left-handed bat, but I don't think they're going to do it. They already have a lot of guys. Could the Marlins maybe go after Andrew Benintendi? They've been looking for an outfielder for a while now. I don't know. Would it make a lot of sense for them to go after him? Could the Padres go after Benintendi? They could use another bat, I think. Could the Phillies maybe go after Benintendi? I feel like they could use another bat there, especially another left-handed bat. Who knows what's going to end up happening with Harper? He should be back at some point soon. But I wouldn't count out the Phillies for a Benintendi trade. I would count out anyone in the AL East, honestly, so I wouldn't expect the Orioles or the Rays. I would think maybe even a National League team. Maybe the Milwaukee Brewers could be a pretty good fit for Benintendi. The Giants, possibly. Maybe. I don't know. I think the Brewers could be a pretty fun fit. Now, the question is where are you really going to put them? They did just send down Keston Hiura, or Keston Hiura. Is it Hiura or Hiura? I always forget how to say it. But they did send him down. I guess they needed some roster space, and he had options. So he's been hitting really well lately. But you got a lot of lefty bats here in Milwaukee, so I don't know if really necessarily this is a great fit. Christian Yelich would have to move into the DH spot, so that would force, and then you'd have Benintendi out in left field, and then McCutchen would basically move to the bench. But he's been hitting pretty well lately, so I don't know if that's something. So, I don't know. The Brewers could be fun. I don't know if they really have the space for him. Maybe, I don't know. I'm trying to think of teams that need offense. Could the Mariners maybe? How about the Mariners? I mean, you got Winker. And then you got Ty France at DH. You could put Ty France at first base, and then Carlos Santana could move to the bench. But Santana's actually been hitting pretty well with the Mariners. I wouldn't count out the Mariners. But if I'm looking at offense, who are some teams that could use some offense? So I feel like I've mentioned a few already. Again, Miami. I wonder if Miami gets into it. I don't know if it's going to be worth it for Miami to really get into it just because, I don't know. Can they realistically make the playoffs? I think the Guardians could be pretty interesting. Let's actually pull up the Guardians. Oh, we got a super chat here. Could Gallo go to the Nats? And what about Soto going to the Yanks? So I did talk about Juan Soto with the Yankees earlier. I've exhausted all Juan Soto talk, but just really quick, I think the Yankees could get a deal done for Juan Soto if they really wanted to. I think they could get it done. You would have to probably take on Patrick Corbin, but sure, you could send Gallo back in a deal with Juan Soto, but Gallo's not really going to make up a whole ton of difference. He'll cover a couple million worth of value. Juan Soto has around $200 million worth of value. You would have to put someone like Patrick Corbin, who has negative $50 million roughly in value. So that makes you have to come up with $150 million worth of value. Gallo would not make up a whole ton, but sure, you could put him in. But let's talk about the Cleveland Guardians. Robert, thank you for the $5 super chat. Everyone with the super chats tonight, I really do appreciate it. But let's talk about the Guardians. Maybe the Guardians. You got Quan out there in left. I mean, Framber Reyes has had a really down year. So could you do a rotation in that designated hitter spot? I wouldn't count out the Guardians as a possible spot for Benintendi. Again, I think the Padres, the Padres, I actually wonder if maybe they make the most sense right now for Benintendi. You got Profar. He got off to a really good start, but he hasn't been playing all that well lately. He was on the IL there with a concussion. But it feels like they could use another bat. Profar, I wonder if you can just kind of put him in like a super utility role. Overall, his numbers on the year, he's hitting 240. He's got a pretty good on base, but I think Benintendi might be a bit of an upgrade there. And then you could put Profar on the bench. So I like the idea of Benintendi on the Padres. But I would say the Padres, the Guardians. I can take a look at the White Sox. I just feel like the White Sox are a little heavy right now. I feel like they don't got a lot of room. I mean, in left field, you got Eloy Jimenez. He's not doing all that great. And he's also hurt right now. What's going on with him right now?
Having a problem with the leg. All right. So, not sure what's going on with that. I just feel like the White Sox don't have a lot of. I mean, what do you do with Eloy? You know? And you got Pollock on the bench, too. I just feel like he doesn't fit there. I feel like they just got a lot. I think the Phillies are possible. I would say right now, my top 3 teams for Andrew Benintendi, I would go the Padres, the Guardians, and then maybe the Marlins. So that's what I'm thinking for Benintendi. All right, everyone. We got one more story to talk about. Here. And I'm excited for it. Everyone, we got 300 people in the chat right now. So while I have you here, tomorrow night is the 2022 Major League Baseball Draft. I will be live. I will not be showing it. I will not be, putting it on my screen for you to watch. I cannot do that. I will probably get my channel shut down if I did that. But I will be reacting to every single pick. So I got my TV right there in front of me. So come on in. We're going to have a bit of a draft party tomorrow. I'm going to react to every pick. We did this last year. It was a great time. I think we had last year probably around 500 people in the chat for it. It was a great time. Every pick. When Marcelo Mayer went to the Red Sox, I was going crazy. I remember when Frank Mozzicato went to the Royals, I was thinking, what the heck? That was a reach for the Royals. But come on in tomorrow night. We're going to be talking draft. And it's going to be a really good time. So tomorrow night, the draft is at 7 o'clock. I will be live at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. But speaking of the draft, we have a little bit to talk about with the draft. We got some interesting facts, some news out there. And let me pull this up really quick. So as of right now, just in case if you haven't been paying attention to the draft all that much, let me just kind of go over some of the top prospects in this draft. And also, there are some updated mock drafts out there. And Keith Law recently just did his final mock draft. Mock drafts are pretty much just, in my opinion, just a fun thing to do. But let's take a look here. But as of right now, the number 1 prospect in the Major League Baseball draft is Drew Jones, the son of Andrew Jones, all around really good player, 60 hit tool, 55 power, but his bread and butter is in the field. He's got great speed, an amazing glove out there, a very good arm. There's a lot to like about Drew Jones. I think he's going to be a really solid player. The top college player is Brooks Lee, shortstop out of Cal Poly. He was playing with for his dad there. Arguably, people are saying the best hitter in this draft. He's also a switch hitter. Got some decent power as well. He could definitely fill out his frame a little bit. He's 6'2", 205. I think you could add a little bit more weight onto him, get a little bit more strength there. Not a whole lot of run, but he's pretty decent in the field. He's got a good arm, but he's a switch hitter. Got a very good feel for hitting. I think he is going to be a really solid player. I love some of these other guys. Jackson Holliday, the son of Matt Holliday. This dude is just projection city, in my opinion. He's just like this lanky guy, but he is just, I think he could end up being a really good player, just like his dad. My favorite player in this draft is Tamar Johnson. He reminds me of Rafael Devers. I don't know what it is, but his hit tool is phenomenal. Watching him hit is incredibly fun. He's not going to be the fastest guy. He's going to be a second baseman. He's not really going to be a shortstop. Maybe he could play some third at one point. He's got an okay arm. His bread and butter is the hitting, and he's got some power along with it too. He reminds me a lot of Rafael Devers. He's a little smaller too, 5'8", but just a strong kid. I really like Tamar Johnson. Pretty excited about it. And then you got some other guys in this top 10 on Baseball America. Elijah Green, a lot of upside with him. Stupid athletic, 70 power, 70 run. A lot to like with Elijah Green. There's Kevin Parada, the top catcher. Cam Collier is a pretty under-the-radar kind of a guy. Left high school early to go to junior college, just like Bryce Harper. Good hit tool, good power, good arm. So sounds like a third baseman there, but he's only 17 years old, and he's already just a big kid. 219 pounds at 6'1" at 17 years old. Are you kidding me? Robert Wagner with a $9.99 super chat. Does Drew Jones go number 1 to the Orioles or play for the team that drafted his dad and the Braves? And also, how many people in this draft has dads that play in the league? Do you know? So, top of my head, I don't think Drew Jones is going to go to the Braves. If you take a look at the draft order, he would have to drop really far. I don't think he makes it to number 20 at the Atlanta Braves. I don't think he gets there. Could you imagine if they could trade up? I would love that if Major League Baseball had something where you could trade up just like you can in basketball and football. Can we please do that? Please. James Luongo and Mr. Chicken. You're talking about John Heyman. What is John Heyman talking about? Seven minutes ago. What the heck is John Heyman saying? John Heyman, go back to bed. Padres to make play for Soto, but hoping not to trade Tatis. You wouldn't have to trade Tatis, but to pair the two stars. Why Pods still make more sense than New York teams? I just did talk about the Padres earlier. You can include C.J. Abrams and a few other prospects, and you could get a deal done, but they would have to take Patrick Corbin. Price tag huge, just as offered to him from the Nats was for record $440 million. So I think it could make some sense. I think Juan Soto to the Padres makes sense. But Robert Wagner, I don't think he makes it to the Braves. There's no way he falls this far. I don't see it. But how many players that have dads? There's quite a few. There's quite a few. I mean, first off, Drew Jones, and then Cam Collier. I think his dad played too. That's right. The son of former big leaguer Lou Collier. That's right. There is Jackson Holliday. Jace Young. Okay, his brother plays. So that's not his dad, but still a family member. I'm trying to think. Who are some other guys? I know there's another one. So I'm thinking 3 off the top of my head. There's someone else, and I'm going blank. Who was it? Is it Tucker Tolman? No. There's someone in here. Gareth Miller, Justin. Oh, that's right. Justin Crawford. Yes, Justin Crawford. Carl Crawford's son. Justin Crawford. I knew I was missing someone. Justin Crawford, man. I think this is a really interesting guy. Really athletic, just like his dad was. Good hit tool at 55. Look at that run, 70. Good in the field. Arm is fine. But there's a lot to like with this draft. And there's a lot of good, decent pitching in this draft. Not any really top 10 pitching. That would have been Dylan Lesko, but he had Tommy John surgery. There are some other pitchers to pay attention to. Brock Porter, I think, could end up being really solid. I have him going to the Mets in my mock draft. There's Brandon Barrera. I think he could end up being a really solid lefty down the road. There's another college pitcher. You got Connor Prelip in here. Where is Connor Prelip? He could have been a top 10 pitcher at one point, but he ended up getting Tommy John. Did pitch again for Alabama this past year. Probably my favorite pitcher in this draft is Cooper Jerpy. He reminds me a lot of Chris Sale. Go watch some Cooper Jerpy highlights. I think you will have a great time. But as for the draft, as of right now, these are mock drafts. Don't, take them into account. Don't take so much... don't have too much confidence in the mock drafts. They're fun to do. Last year, everyone was saying Marcelo Mayer was going to be the number 1 pick, and they ended up falling to the Red Sox. And then, so can't really take into account too much of the mock drafts. But as of right now, Keith Law, he has the Baltimore Orioles selecting Jackson Holliday. And Baseball America's mock draft, they also have Jackson Holliday going to the Orioles. The Orioles are a very unknown team because they like to go under slot a lot. They like to surprise some people. I think they could go under slot again. I have them going with Brooks Lee, the top college player. So I think, to me personally, I think you could sign Brooks Lee to an underslot deal. If it's not Brooks Lee, maybe you could go with someone like a Cam Collier, possibly. You could definitely get him underslot. There's Tamar Johnson. I definitely think there are some guys that you could take at number one. And Jackson Holiday. I think you could get Jackson Holiday under slot as well. So look out for that. But that is an interesting wrinkle here, is that Jackson Holiday is now the number one pick in a couple of mock drafts out there. So could he end up being the number one pick? We'll have to wait and see. But if we actually go here, there is on Sportsbook, I think it's on here. As of right now, Brooks Lee is the favorite to go number one on the DraftKings Sportsbooks. I've been going with Brooks Lee basically this whole time. And Brooks Lee, as of right now, has the best odds of going number one at negative 400. Robert Wagner, who is the most underrated player in the draft? In my opinion, I mean, you could go so many different ways with underrated players. I feel like Tamar Johnson, he's not the most underrated player in my opinion, but you hear so much about Drew Jones. You know, I think Tamar Johnson really deserves a lot more love. I do. I feel like he doesn't get talked about enough. I think everyone just talks about Drew Jones. If I were to go down here, one college player that I do really like is Gavin Cross. I think he has the potential to be an all-around pretty good player. If I were to take a look at someone else, hold on a second. I'm trying to think. Oh, Henry Boldy. I think I'm saying it's Bolt or Boldy. He has a lot of upside. Look at these tools right here. He's got a 60 power, 60 run, 60 field, 60 arm, but his hit tool is pretty bad. So if a team can get him and they can work out his plate discipline, his decisions on when to swing, you could end up having a really good player in him. There's also Spencer Jones. He is kind of like Aaron Judge. Size-wise, 6'7", weighs 225, bats lefty though. So he's like a lefty Aaron Judge. Went to Vanderbilt, big dude, tons of power, not too much of a hit tool. I think Aaron Judge was a bit of a better hitter coming out of that draft, but I like Spencer Jones. He's ranked number 49 on Baseball America. I think there's Eric Brown as well out of Coastal Carolina shortstop. Just an all-around pretty good player. 50 hit, 50 power, 55 run, 50 field, 50 arm. I don't think he's anything spectacular, but I think he could end up being a really solid player. So had a pretty good season this year in college. Hit 330, 460 on base, 544 slugging, 7 homers. He had more walks than strikeouts. So I think Eric Brown is a guy to keep an eye on. To be honest, I haven't looked too much into the bottom half. I was really just focused on the first round this year. Just been so busy this summer, man. Michael Yench, $5 super chat. Any San Diego kids in the draft? I feel like there's definitely a couple. I know that Spencer Jones, I think, was from California. You got Mickey Romero out of Orange, California. You got a couple of players out of Oregon. There's Josh Kasevich, and then there's also Cooper Jerpy. A lot of East Coast, Southern guys that are in this draft, especially in the projected first round guys. Henry Boldy, he's out of California as well. Dylan Lesko he's from Georgia. No, super chat coming in. Cody Smith, hi from Australia. Have we talked on the Astros Castillo yet? Yes, Cody Smith. Unfortunately, we did a little earlier. I think the Astros could pull off a deal for Castillo. A lot of teams can. It's going to come down to what package will the Reds like the most. You know, the Astros have a package that you could build around Hunter Brown. So I would not count out the Astros for a possible deal. Thank you, Cody Smith, and welcome from Australia, my friend. Welcome. Who else we got in here? Michael Yench, any San Diego kids? Gabriel Hughes, you got Gonzaga out there on the West Coast. Robbie Snelling out of Nevada. I think Robbie Smith, speaking of the question from Robert Wagner, who's the most underrated player in the draft? Robbie Snelling is not really a guy you hear about a lot, but he has a really good curveball, and he's got really good control. and a decent fastball as well. So Robbie Snelling is an interesting guy, a lefty as well. So look out for him. And hey, Kumar Rocker's here, man. I wouldn't say he's underrated, but I feel like a lot of people are forgetting about Kumar Rocker. So, and I feel like you could say Justin Crawford is a little underrated just because you're hearing so much about Drew Jones, Tamar Johnson, guys like that. Well, actually, no, not Tamar Johnson really all that much. You're hearing about a lot of these other guys. Drew Jones is definitely getting the most attention here. I don't know. I'm going right now that Drew Jones is not going to go number 1. I don't think he's going to go number 1. I don't see it. Until the Orioles pick a guy at slot or over slot, I still think they're going to go under slot. That's just how Mike Elias goes, man. That's just what he does. So, but I'm excited for the draft tomorrow. Again, the number 1 pick, according to DraftKings right now, their favorite is Brooks Lee. So be on the lookout for that. A couple of mock drafts out there, like Keith Law. He has Jackson Holiday going. Also, Baseball America, they have Jackson Holiday going as well. We'll have to wait and see. I'm excited for it, but I will be live tomorrow night to go over the draft. I will be watching the draft with all of you. Please come on in. We'll be live 7 o'clock tomorrow night. Really excited for it. I enjoyed the draft a lot last year, and I think it's going to be another fun one. So please be here. I'm excited for it. Matthew Pope, I'm sorry, my friend. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for that, my friend. I'm sorry about that. But everyone, I'm going to get out of here. We talked a lot of Juan Soto tonight. I want to thank everyone for the super chats tonight. Holy cow, always just great support for this channel. Really appreciate that. If there is any Juan Soto news, I will do my best to cover it. Hopefully nothing crazy happens tonight. I don't think anything crazy is going to happen. Could we see Soto get traded by the deadline? It's possible. I think it's more likely it's going to be an off-season kind of a thing. But would never say never. We never say never. So we'll have to wait and see. But everyone, go have yourself a good rest of your night. It's Saturday night. It's 10 o'clock. I don't know what the heck you guys are doing. Go out there. Go have a sandwich or something. Go have a drink. Drink responsibly, though. Drink responsibly. Everyone, have a good night, and I'll talk to you next time.